What else can we say about prep here? I also like to start thinking about wardrobe and being very specific. Some people really like the idea of shoes to be grounded. I've heard a lot of actors be like, oh, once I know the shoes that the guy's going to be in. And again, doesn't need to be the full wardrobe, but just hints of the wardrobe, something specific. Might be something a little different you do with your hair, whatever the personal preference is, but just start to think about that stuff early on. And getting back to rehearsing till you can't get it wrong, how many times is that? Keeping track, we have these little clickers, these little counters, and people way underestimate what that is. So are you doing it 50 times, 100 times, 250 times, doing it different ways? And you'd be shocked if you don't keep track of how many rehearsals you've done. It'll feel like you've done a lot. You'll be like, oh, I've rehearsed this so many times. And you're like, okay, you rehearsed it 14 times. You did a 2-minute scene, you took a half an hour, and so it took you 28 minutes to rehearse it 14 times, which may not be enough. So it's like getting to 50 and 100 and 250 times. And the challenge too is when it feels the shittiest and when it feels like the most work is at the beginning. And that's the same with everything in life. Anytime you do something new, it feels clunky. It feels awkward. It feels a little painful. It feels, oh, I don't know these words yet. But the deeper and deeper you get, then that's when it starts to become play. And that's when it starts to become fun, where it's in your body and you're exploring new impulses and you're making new choices and doing different things just in rehearsal to see like what works. You kind of throw a lot at the rehearsal wall. And then you're like, oh, I like that one. I'm going to keep that read of it. I liked how I said it this way. Oh, I kind of sung that line a little bit, sing-songy. I'm going to keep that. So it's a lot of experimenting as well, and in your rehearsal process. And then when you're rehearsing, we always get the term rehearse slowly so that you can later perform swiftly. So in the beginning, take some time to do some really slow passes where you're going word by word and even sound by sound, like sound out the vowels, really hit your consonants and start exploring the vocal variation of those words. And sometimes when you're exploring those words, you'll find something or a word will sound like something, and you'll actually start uncovering things that maybe were like little Easter eggs that the writer did put in there, but when you're going so fast and just glossing over it and just deciding, oh, okay, I know what this is. Now I just got to memorize the lines. You'll miss all that stuff. So it's really diving into it and being like, well, what could this mean? Is there another way I could say this? What's the opposite way I could say this? And just exploring all of those things. Do more work, have more fun, love it more, really is what you want to do. Love it more.
Yeah.
It's a relationship. You want to have a great relationship, spend more time with the person, be more curious with the person, ask more questions, share more of yourself with that person. Same thing with when you're working on an audition. It's the same thing.